Evan Urbina, thanks for taking the time. Took the tennis team out to California last week, took on Navy, UC Irvine. Your take on your team, because I don't want to read into the scores that we've seen.
Yeah, obviously it was a tough trip for us. It was a short trip. We got in the day before the match, had a couple practices, and then played the match against Navy. And it really wasn't our best stuff. I always talk about the way we compete, and I just don't think we competed as well, transitioning from high altitude to low altitude. And I think that's always a big deal for us. We need to do that well. Typically, when you go from high altitude to low altitude, a lot more balls are coming back. You're not quite used to that. You're not used to getting into the point on your serve as much. It's nice to get a lot of free points, which we get here at home off of first serves. And so we weren't ready for that. There were some shots that we needed to hustle down. And at low altitude, you can get those balls. Here at high altitude, it's really tough to get those balls. So sometimes you're not used to running after those shots. Finishing points, moving forward, finishing at the net. You know, even Langdon, who had a great match, he was struggling finishing points of the net. And had he put in a few more first volleys, his match would have been easier, you know. He was controlling from the baseline and then moving forward, and then still needs to work on some of those first volleys. Outside of that, like the energy, it was kind of hot. I think it hit us, and we weren't necessarily ready for it. And that's on me, just preparing the guys mentally a little bit better. You know, I think it was a challenging schedule, and that's on me as well. But it's a good learning experience, and I really do feel like some of the toughest moments, that's where the best leadership comes out. Sure. And so I challenge the guys with that. You know, hey, how are we going to respond? You know, this is obviously a great opportunity for us to learn and grow. And Navy is a great team. They came out and competed very well. They were loud, energetic, and we weren't able to match it that day. And, you know, that's a tough loss for us anytime that happens. But I was really proud of the following day, you know, against UC Irvine.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything you can do to prepare at high altitude for lower altitude? There's nothing you can do. You can't make like a compression chamber you can play tennis in to see the ball slow down.
Nope. But you can just get better at tennis, and that's what we have to do. Just get back to the practice court and focus on some of the things we didn't do so well. I think the guys were really receptive. There were some tough conversations after the match of just digging deeper, basically. And I thought when we played Irvine, that was there. You know, we put ourselves in a position to be in the match. It was the first time we had Alec back in a month, so that was great. Good to have him back on the court. He kind of ran out of gas, which, you know, you expect, not being match tough, you know, for a month. But you know, overall, the energy was much better. The problem solving, like finding ways to win. One of the things I talk about with the guys is just like, don't just say you're trying hard. Tell me what specifically you're doing to fix the problem, you know, because trying hard, it's so subjective. But, you know, when you give yourself little metrics, you know, I need to be making more first serves. To do that, I need to be using my legs more, tossing the ball a little higher. Sure. You know, little things like that make all the difference in a match, you know. It's kind of funny because the way I coach, like sometimes I start coaching and I'm saying the same things pretty much over and over again in the match because those are the important things to focus on. So there's no magic formula. It's just hard work and getting after it.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to have to get after it in the Mountain West again this weekend. San Diego State will be your first play, and that's down at sea level again. So you get a chance right away to see if you learned anything.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this trip. It's spring break, so we're going to be gone the whole week basically. And then when we get back, we have 2 matches at home on the back end of spring break. So we're going to see a lot of guys in the lineup. We are going to compete. That's what we'll focus on. And then I think if we do those things, we'll be happy with the result no matter what. And that's really the most important thing. Sure. You know, how you compete, how you show that leadership. And I think going in with the belief that we're going to do some damage, I think that's really important. So showing that belief, we'll be focused on that as well.
Should be a lot of fun. Coach Urbina, thanks for the time.
Thanks, Brian.